Okay, this video is about building a raised bed garden enclosure that I might turn into a greenhouse in the fall. And made a model in SketchUp, and this model is available in the description. The difference between this one and the rest of the ones you've seen on the internet probably is that this one's going to be built into a side of a hill. So that's kind of the challenge of this particular build. So if those slides interested you, stay tuned. First, I'm going to start out describing how I started disassembling the model and laying it down to see how I could fit the plywood onto 4x8 sheets, and I got pretty good. But there's this little piece right here that I'm going to piece. Otherwise, things laid out pretty well. Didn't want to go with a fifth board. And then the long dimension is 3 cow panels, and there are 50 inches or so. They're a little bit bigger than 50. So I made these long ones 150. Should have made them a little bit longer. I would do that next time. And then this is just an 8-foot 4x4 that I put into my Home Depot order, and also bought a door, screen door, storm door. And then the cow panels at Tractor Supply, and the screen at at Amazon, and then the noodles at Walmart. But Home Depot failed on the curbside delivery. They gave me 14-foot boards instead of 16-foot boards. So somebody probably just cut off some and returned them. And shopper didn't check. So anyway, May 1st, I got the groundbreaking, and I made myself some, I printed these out so that I could cut. And I went ahead and cut the first wall, and I'm not showing that. I just assembled it with 3.5-inch screws, and dug some holes and stuck the 4x4s in the ground. Measured diagonally so I could get it square, and then I laid the plywood on the ground and then scribed on the top, and installed the plywood. And I used stapler to put this black plastic on because it's pressure treated plywood, and I didn't want the chemicals from that to get into the dirt. So I got the front wall, and then the couple, 3/4 of the side walls done here, and just kind of showing that. The back wall, I decided I would get it solid into place by just burying these 2x2 pressure-treated 2x2s in cement. So what I didn't do, and what I should have done, was stake the plywood to the ground at this point. But I didn't do that. But I got these rocks. This is just to take up some space. Visited by a butterfly. But this is just to take up some space, and then I started digging. But what I should have done is put these stakes on the outside, so that it's like 20/20 hindsight. It's like, why didn't I do that? And this the cleat on the front, and then I'm planning on putting these stakes on the inside, and not actually behind. Shall I put them not behind the plywood, but in front of the plywood? I was going to put them behind and screw them, but I'd put them in front. And then these cross members I later added to keep the plywood from bowing out. It's the weight of the wood. So this is what I had to do in order to get the plywood back to vertical. I put a 2x4, and then I pounded some wood and some stakes into the ground, and then used the jacks from the cars to just push this wall back so it was vertical again. So I got that done. It was a lot of extra work, and it was dumb that I didn't realize that this was a problem. So I trimmed the digging so that I would make sure that these boards went in vertically and not bind against any wood. And you can see I got the cross members in there to keep the boards from popping out when dirt gets tossed in there. So now it's time to dig the rest out. and I did, and I made that last little piece. And then time to put the cow panels on, and I just used the long 2x4s to push it up, and I used these little U-shaped nails to hold them in place, which we're going to see those are no good. But I did manage with just those little U-shaped nails to get all the cow panels up and hooped over the structure, and got it all kind of set. But what I needed to do is replace this connection method. The U-shaped nails are just absolutely no good for any kind of longevity. So I very carefully placed these drill markings on the 2x4 and tried to get it directly behind the cow panel member there, so that I could drill a hole and then put the cow panel into the hole. And I wanted to make sure it was exactly in the right place, otherwise I wouldn't be able to slip it into place. So then I drilled these holes using those depressions that I made with the center punch, and went down and drilled along the entire structure. And I decided to throw a little bit of caulk in the holes, just so that if the water ran down there, it wouldn't rot it out. Not that that was a big deal, but you can see that these nails they're almost useless. I tried to put the cow panel in by hand here, literally by one hand, while holding my phone in the other hand, and that wasn't going to work. But I did finally get these things installed, and then I pounded them into place. Sorry about the angle of this. I tried to fix this, but it didn't fix. Anyway, I got those in there, and then it was a little tight because the holes weren't drilled exactly in the right place sometimes. And then I just put the caulk in there, and hopefully that'll last a few years. This is not pressure treated wood that's on the top. And here's the nails, the U-shaped nails, that just show you how crappy they are. They're just not for this job. So I had these nylon, I think they're nylon, they're exterior grade wire connecting things, and I think that'll hold much better. And I put these on these two examples here that I'm showing, plus everywhere else. So I took the nails out and put these things in, and I think these will hold good. And this is the screen I got from Amazon, and it was no problem sticking it up there. Just improvised my way through it, through the 4-foot wide roll over the top, and stapled it down on the ends, and put a few zip ties which were included with it. I think that'll be fine. Probably the only critters that can probably get through this are the squirrels if they decide to chew. But anyway, I got the screen all done. That only took, I don't know, an hour or something. It was pretty quick to get that done. And this is kind of the result. This was before the rain. I did have a few days of rain that I had to deal with, but I got this door in there. And then what I'm trying to show here is that there's missing dirt. I needed more dirt to come up to level, because I wanted to leave 8 inches on the top, which was to be filled with 22 bags of this garden soil that my wife bought and picked up at the big box store. So she got that all done and got her plants in there. So now, today it's rained like an inch, and it's supposed to rain even more than an inch. So hopefully the soil won't settle too much. But I got the door in there, closes nice. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful for you to see that something like this could be done. If you've got a hill and you want to build one of these things on your hill, you can do that. And with this project, I didn't set up the tripod and everything, so it's shorter. So if you have questions, just go ahead and ask in the comments.